Hey everyone, I want to talk about self-respect today. And in a moment, we're going to do some tapping together to address this issue of self-respect, learning how to respect ourselves. So through a number of experiences, whether it was from childhood abuse, a dysfunctional or abusive marriage or relationship, any number of situations, you may find that you struggle to have self-respect. On my channel, I talk a lot about knowing our value. When we don't know our value, we allow ourselves to be abused, to be violated, to be mistreated. When we don't know our value, we don't set boundaries, or we are afraid to speak up. We're afraid to set boundaries. We're afraid to displease people, to make them mad or to upset them. We're afraid to hurt them. And so instead we hurt ourselves. Where did we learn this? When was it learned? And is it still running your life today? Did you learn that you had to be a doormat, that you had to give yourself away because you love that person? And so slowly but surely, you start to get smaller and smaller and smaller until one day you say, I don't know who I am anymore. And you don't have any respect for yourself. This is a process that happens slowly, and it usually begins in childhood because we learn that we are not worth it. We don't have value. We aren't worthy. And none of that is true. So no matter what age you are, wherever you are in your life, it is never too late to begin to develop and build self-respect. Because when we know who we are, when we are confident in ourselves, when we have self-esteem, when we know what we will accept and what we won't accept, then we don't stick around for mistreatment, all in the name of loving someone, loving that person. We don't stick around and take it. Loving someone does not mean also be abused. Loving someone does not mean suffering and struggling and pain and sacrificing who you are. That's not what love is. But before we can bring in a loving partner who respects us, we have to love ourselves first. We have to stand up for ourselves first. We have to give ourselves a great big hug and know that we are so worthy and deserving of love, and that it starts first with how we treat ourselves. Then the outside world will change, and it will change naturally and organically, not because we force or try to control it, but because it is reflecting who we are on the inside. Our cup is running over, and that is how it works when we are healthy with ourselves first. But if we didn't learn how to have that relationship with ourselves growing up, that's okay. We can learn that now. That's a lot of us. So let's tap about this. And when we tap about it, we allow the feelings to come to the surface, to be felt, to be released, to cleanse them out of you so you're not stuffing them down. We hold emotions in our bodies, and sometimes they manifest in ways that affect our physical health and certainly our mental health and our spiritual health as well. So follow along with me, tap where I tap, repeat what I say, or change anything if anything that I offer doesn't fit your situation. Okay, here we go. Even though I didn't learn how to respect myself, I took a lot of mistreatment, and I didn't know any differently. I choose to deeply and completely love myself so completely. Tapping through the points. I didn't learn to know my value growing up. I learned I wasn't good enough. I learned I had to work hard for love. I had to prove myself and take whatever I got. I learned I had to get love at any cost, even if that cost was me. I learned that I had to give myself away. I had to let my boundaries be stepped on. I learned I couldn't have a self. I could only be who the other person wanted me to be. And that I had to please the other person no matter what. And I learned I was not worthy of respect. I've learned to allow myself to be violated. I've learned to allow myself to be abused. And all of this has created so much pain within me. I have incurred so many wounds from this. And I carry all this around today. I am so afraid of believing in myself. I am so afraid of not pleasing somebody. But this is all a reflection of what I learned as a child. So I can heal this by turning my attention to my inner child. I speak to that inner child now and I let her know she doesn't have to continue doing this. I let her know that she is safe now and I will protect her. I let her know that it is safe for her to speak her mind, to let out who she really is, and that I love and accept her as a part of myself. This is where the healing begins. Back to the source. This is how I'm healing my relationship with myself. This is how I'm developing love and respect for myself. Loving someone does not have to come with a cost. Loving someone does not mean I have to give myself away. Loving someone does not mean that I have to lose myself. That is certainly no longer an option. Because I know who I am. I am a child of this universe. I have magnificence within me. I have light and a divine spark within me. And I don't let anybody dim that light. I am so valuable and so necessary. I am so worthy and so deserving. And I give myself so much compassion for what I've been through. And I see all my experiences as part of my past. They have made me into the strong person that I am today. I am so resourceful and resilient. And I have been through hell and back, and not just once. But I am ready to move on to a happier chapter of my life. And I am rebuilding respect for myself. And it feels so good to do that. I am reclaiming myself. I am incorporating those fragmented parts of myself. And I give them my love and nurturing. I deserve to be treated well. And I start with treating myself well. And I give myself lots and lots of love and kindness. Take a deep breath, inhale, and exhale. Give yourself a great big hug. You are so worthy, so deserving, so valuable, and so necessary. Thank you so much for being here. In the meantime, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.